everyone, welcome to this session of English again. In today's session, we'll continue with our chapter Prepositions. In last session, I told you many prepositions and their uses. Today, in this session, we'll learn some more prepositions and their uses. Last time, we were discussing a preposition that is between. I told you that between is used only for two persons or two person or things. But in case of agreement, in case of a tournament, we can use between for even more than two persons. Now in this session, we'll begin with the preposition among. As I told you that between is used only for two, but the word among is used for more than two. Between is used for two, whereas among and amongst are used for more than two people or thing. When we are talking about more than two people or thing, we can use among or amongst. Now the difference between among and amongst is used before a word beginning with a vowel, or you say vowel. If a word begins with a vowel, we use amongst before it. But if there are more than two persons and the word doesn't begin with a vowel, we use among. For example, they distributed sweets among all the students after the Chandrayaan landed successfully. So here in this sentence, we have used the word all. Well, all begins with a vowel. Therefore, here among should be replaced with the word amongst. Now the correct sentence will be they distributed sweets amongst all the students after the Chandrayaan landed successfully. Another sentence, he divided his property among his 4 sons. Now a person has 4 sons, and what he did, he divided his property in 4 parts. He divided his property among his 4 sons. So here we have among before the word his 4 sons. 4 is obviously more than 2. So here we can use among, and his, it is not followed by, the word among is not followed by a vowel. That is why among is suitable over here. So this sentence is again correct. Now this is the difference between among and amongst. Also the difference between, or you can say difference among, between among and amongst. Now let us see some sentences, some spotting errors related to this. The sentence is there appears to be a little liaison among the two groups of the society. Now liaison refers to a mutual understanding. Mutual understanding or relationship. We can say a strong relationship. So there appears to be a little liaison among the two groups. Now we are talking about only two groups. And we know well that for two, we only use the preposition between, not among. So here among should be replaced with a preposition that is between. So the correct sentence will be, there appears to be a little liaison between the two groups of the society. Now let us move to the next sentence. Well, your answer will be 3. Answer is 3 because third part contains the error. Now the next sentence, the principal distributed the sweet among our 4 friends who bade him farewell. Now again, here we can see that among is followed by R, which is starting with a vowel. O is a vowel. We We say vowels are A, E, I, O, U. And here the word R is beginning with O, which is a vowel. So before vowel, we have to use amongst. So amongst should be replaced with amongst. Is used when a vowel is not there or when the word is not beginning with a vowel, followed by it. One more thing to keep in mind is that we pronounce this word like vowel, not vowel. Correct pronunciation of this word is vowel. So here again the error will be in part 2. Here amongst should be replaced with amongst. So our answer will be 2. Now the next preposition that we have is besides. Beside. Now you must have heard a word besides. Here we have a preposition beside. Now what is beside? Next to. When something is next to or nearby something. Near. For example, this cat is sitting next to this box or this cat is sitting beside this box. So this is the use of preposition to. For example, a car, a blue car has been parked beside my car. So both the cars are beside each other, or the car is standing near my car, a blue car. So that is beside. A preposition here used shall be beside. Now we can say this in this sentence. We can say that the cat is sitting beside the box. So whenever something is on the adjacent side of something, when something is on the adjacent side of something or on the adjacent of something, there we use the word beside. When something is adjacent to something, there we use beside. Now here we have one more word, that is besides. Now what is besides? It is actually in addition to. The meaning of besides is in addition to. For example, if I say he has a flat or he has a farmhouse besides a flat. Now he has a farmhouse in addition to a flat. It means he has both the things. He has a flat as well as a farmhouse. So here we can use the word besides. So besides means in addition to. It is an extra of something. Except is generally some other word, that is odd one out. But besides is used for something which is extra. Whereas beside is used to show the position which is adjacent to something. So this is the difference among beside, besides and except. Except generally means that is to odd one out, to keep out the extra. Now the next, let us again do some sentences related to this, that there was a big tree besides the shed. Now it is written that there was a big tree besides the shed. There must be a shed. Shed is actually where cows live. Now here it is written besides. So there must be a shed like this, a tin shed or something. And a tree is beside it. The tree is beside it, not besides. Besides is used for something extra. But this is not beside. Here besides should be replaced with beside. That is at the adjacent position, or we can say near the shed. So here besides should be replaced with beside. So your answer should be 3. Now we have another preposition, that is in. Now in is used to show the position something which is inside something. When something is inside something, we use in. When something is within the boundaries of something, we use in. When something is in boundaries of something, we use in. For example, the ball is in the box. We can say here the ball is in the box. We can also say another sentence like he was sitting in the room alone. Now he was sitting in the room alone. Also, when we lie in a bed, we too use in if we are resting properly, if we are sleeping. For example, she was sleeping soundly, was sleeping soundly in her bed. So here we can use in, not on. On is generally when we generally lie on the bed, when we generally sit on the bed. But when we are in a comfortable position, when someone is sleeping over there, we should use in rather than on. One more thing, if we talk about means of transportation, so there are two cases. First, we have public transport or we have private transport. For private vehicles, we use in. And for public vehicles, we use on. For example, if I say that she is on the train, the sentence is correct. She is not in the train because train is a public vehicle. So I can say I'm on the train, she's on the train. But if I say she is in her car, so now this is her private vehicle. So here I can use in. For cycle, something which we ride, we use on. That he is riding on the bicycle, that is going on his bike, that is sitting on his bike. But if something which has some boundaries, if some vehicle has boundaries, we use in. But in case of public and private, we should keep this in mind. If I have my own cab or I have booked a cab, that means that cab will work for me only for some time. There I should use in, not on. But if I'm in a sharing cab or in a sharing auto, I shall use on. That I'm in on an auto. That I'm on an auto. So these are some examples of in. Now, in is basically when something is actually inside something. But there is a preposition into. Now, how do we use the word into? If into is used basically for conversion, it means when we see that something is converting into another thing or the medium changes. When the medium changes, position changes, when the medium changes. Now, something when it is in converting position from one medium to another, it is converting. We can see the conversion. We can see the transformation. We use into. For example, if we see this boy or this man, he is jumping from this position to in position. So his position is, it is actually the movement which is being shown. He is diving into the river. So here we use the word into because when someone dives, his position changed from the land to water. So suppose suppose let us give this boy a name, this man a name. Maybe this is Ravi. Now Ravi dived into the river. The cat jumped into the well. So in these cases, we use into when someone's position is being converted. We also use into for the changes of sentence, for the conversions of sentences as well. For example, convert the sentence from active voice into passive voice. Convert the sentences into passive voice. Convert these active sentences into passive voice. With from we use to. So in this case, we can use into. Now let us see some sentences. Shaila fell in the well and nobody tried to save her. Now she fell in the well. It means her position changed. So your in should be replaced with into. So the correct sentence will be Shaila fell into the well and nobody tried to save her. So our answer is 1. That is, in should be replaced with into. There are 31 days in July and August. So there are 31 days in July and August. Now this sentence is absolutely correct because we know well that July has 31 days as well as August has 31 days. So this sentence is absolutely correct. There is no error. So fourth, our answer should be 4. That this part or this sentence contains no error. This is absolutely correct. Now let us see the another sentence. Masha and her friends were dressed with their best clothes. Now they have been dressed in their best clothes. So with should be replaced with in. So the answer will be 2. That is in their best clothes. Now a word behind. So behind shows when something is at the back or to the back of something. When something is to the back of something. Or when something is lesser than something. Or less than something. Then also we use behind. For example, this man is behind the sofa. This man, the man or the boy is behind or is sitting behind the sofa. We also use behind for time. For example, the train is running behind schedule. It means train is late by this much of time. We can say the train is running 10 minutes behind schedule. So these are the uses of behind. Let us see another preposition, that is across. Across is used when something is crossing the path. For example, this girl is crossing this road. So when somebody crosses the road, we can use he went across the road or she went across the road. So across is used basically to cross something. So we can say he went across the road to meet her. So this is across. This is the use of across. For example, you can see this cat. She's running across the bridge, or she is going across the bridge. So this is also used as across. Now through is basically when something passes through something. Now the ball went through the glass, or the ball break through the window. Through means when something passes something from inside. For example, the train is passing through the tunnel. In this picture, we can say, by seeing this picture, we can say that the ball went through the glass or went through the window pane. So it is through, is the preposition through, which we have used over here. There is a difference between across and through. Across is generally to cross something, whereas through is to pass from inside something. When something passes from inside something. We can also use through in case of when we face something. For example, we can say he went through difficult times. She's going through difficult times. So in these cases as well, we use through. Now let us see some examples of it. The warehouse is situated back the house. Now, obviously, when the warehouse is situated to the back of the house, we should use the preposition behind, not back. So your behind should be replaced with back. Back should be replaced with behind. So the third will be the correct answer. Our answer should be 3. Your word is given to you which is underlined. It is grammatically correct, which you have to substitute with any of these options that makes it correct. Now again, there is a spotting error. Domino's opened its outlet through the city. Now, not through the city. It is across the city because all over the city. So we can say across the city. Across meaning all over. Or we can also use a different preposition. It is actually an adverb that is throughout the city. That is also correct. So your error is in part C. As she has been across a bad experience in marriage, she doesn't trust people easily. Now, as she has been through a bad experience because she has faced the bad experience in marriage. So it should be through in place of across. In the last week, I told Akshay to come on time, but he still comes late every day. Now, whenever we have short time duration like day and date, we use on. But in case of long time durations, for example, week, month, year, decade, century, we use in for long time durations. But if any of these words preceded by last or next, we do not use any preposition before this. So the correct sentence will be, in the last week, I told Akshay to come on time, but he still comes late every day. In this sentence, we use last week. In the should not be used over here. So our answer will be A. So the correct sentence will be, last week, I told Akshay to come on time, but he still comes late every day. So this will be the correct sentence. Now let us move to the next sentence. If you listen with the questions carefully, you will be able to answer them easily. Now, remember one thing, that listen is always followed by to. The verb listen is always followed by preposition to. Listen, should always be followed by to. Preposition to. So here which should replace with to. So the answer will be B. That is, B part contains the error. Now let us have one more sentence, that is, the policeman started firing the crowd when the striking workers became violent. Now in this sentence we can say the police started firing, but whom did it fire? It is on the crowd. So where did it fire? So after this word verb fire, it should be at over there, because at is used to set the target. So we use preposition at for the target. For example, he threw the stone at the dog, or he pelted the stone at the dog. When something is targeted towards someone, we use preposition at over there. Unless you take interest into studies, you will not succeed in the examination. So your interest into should be replaced with preposition in. We have observed that many good programs suffer of shortage of fund and other resources. Now in this case, always remember suffer is always followed by a preposition from. You must have written an application, you must have written suffering from fever. So suffer is always followed by a preposition from, not of. So error here is in part C. Your answer should be C. That the C part contains the error. So the next sentence is, you deserve to be rewarded by your successful completion of the entire work in such a short time. Now in this sentence, rewarded should be followed by for, because you deserve to be rewarded for your successful completion, not by your, because successful completion is not rewarding you. In fact, somebody is rewarding you for this. So rewarded for your successful completion of the entire work in such a short time. So your error is in part B. Sorry. Yes, error is in part B. So in this session, we'll discuss only these much of prepositions. In the next session, we'll continue with preposition and with some other prepositions. Thank you very much.